guys, welcome back to another edition of Formers Friday. I survived C2E2. Amazing. Actually, considering what happened on Friday night when we hung out with Nerd City, it is amazing that we're still alive. But I grabbed a whole bunch of Transformers swag while I was up in Chicago. So I thought today we'd take a look at some of it. We'll take a look at all of it briefly. And then there's a couple pieces we'll go a little deeper in depth with. So, in depth? No, not Johnny Depp. Depth. That's what I meant to say. I'm a little still hungover and whatnot from Chicago. But still, let's hop in the photo tent. First thing we have here is the... this is Metroplex. God, it has been a long couple days. This is Metroplex. This is obviously not the one that turns into some sort of city. It is not the Titan one. This is, I don't know, was this Universe? I think is what it was. But regardless, I was talking to somebody, I was telling them how I bought this, and they said, why would you buy this version? This is like the worst version of Metroplex out there. The thing is, though, for what I bought it for, I was more than happy to buy it. I really actually got this dirt cheap. Or as Scotty Cash says, on the low, or for the low. Anyway, cheap, awesome. We'll talk about that on a future episode of Formers Friday. Move that out of the way. A couple other things. I got the top spin and twin twist. When I was a kid, I had twin twist. I've since lost him. It's been years since I've seen him. Only twin twist came with the gun. I didn't have a gun for top spin, so I'll need to track one down somewhere. But I only paid a couple bucks each for getting these. And considering I've lost my original that I had as a kid, to replace them for a couple bucks, that was a pretty good deal. I was more than happy to grab those. Let's see what else we have here. We have Brawl, an actual Generation 1 Brawl that's part of Bruticus. Now, he didn't come with his little pistol, but otherwise, I believe this is everything he was supposed to come with. I know he makes a foot on Bruticus, and he didn't actually come with the foot plate, and I don't know if he's supposed to, or if that came with another guy, so I'll probably have to hunt one of those down when I eventually go to piece them together, but regardless, I got him, a couple bucks also on him, pretty happy with that one. Let's see, a GoBot. Some of you guys asked about GoBots, and I did find a GoBot up there, found a Psycho, I think this one was about 10 bucks, and this is one of those figures that I remember, like when you see it, you go, oh yeah, I remember that guy. But if you sit there and, make a list of all the GoBots and Transformers you had as a kid, or you saw your friends had or whatever, this one never makes any list. Like no one remembers this one until you actually see it. And then you're like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. Super cool. So I was happy to get him. He didn't come with any accessories or anything. I'm not sure if he was supposed to. I'll have to do a little bit more research on that, but that's another one we'll talk to on a future date on this very show. Let's see. I grabbed a couple loyal subjects. These were blind boxed, so I didn't know what I was getting until I opened them. And I got Megatron and Starscream, which is actually pretty cool. So I'm kind of happy with the ones that I randomly got. The one thing with these loyal subjects, they are way too expensive. These were like, 12 bucks a piece, and I've heard that that's the standard retail. I didn't pay extra for being at a con. A lot of times you go to a con and stuff is outrageous. I paid 12 bucks a piece for these, which is the, from what I've heard, is the standard price. And, as awesome as these little guys are, 12 bucks a piece just seems really high. That just seems way too high. They're light. They have a little bit of articulation. You can move the arms. The waist moves, the head moves, and that's really it. So, they're cool for what they are. They're just overpriced, but I was at a show and I'll spend the extra money, whatever. So I did get those. I did get something I've actually been trying to get my hands on for a while at a decent price. Anyway, is Twincast from, gosh, I don't even remember why they did it. I'm trying to remember why they made him like this, but it's basically Blaster in a remix of colors. They just changed the deco for whatever reason. They gave him, Ravage, but they turned him into a lion. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the reason was for this version of the toy, unless maybe they just wanted to release another one. But I do have a G1 Blaster I was going to talk about on this show in the upcoming weeks. So probably what we'll do is, instead of it just being Blaster, we'll take a look at Blaster versus Twincast, and that ought to be a good time. Another one I've been trying to get for a decent price for a long time is this bad boy. That's right, we've got the Japanese reissue of Megatron in the box set without the orange plug. They had to put the orange plug when they released it in the United States, so this is the one without that. And it's the full setup of everything in there. And this guy, I couldn't believe it. I was going through somebody's booth and I was looking at different things, and I found a couple of these in the back corner of the booth underneath some other stuff, and I kind of pull it out and I go, well, how much is this? And the guy goes, oh, I don't know, $100. And I was like, bam, purchased, bought. I never had Megatron as a kid. Soundwave was my go-to villain. Never had this, so I was actually pretty stoked to see this. This is the 2008 version of him. Looks great. I cannot wait until we have an opportunity to take a look at this on the show. That would be a good time. Probably get, one or two people might tune in, watch that episode. This is completely out of left field, and I'm going to throw this out there, and some of you guys are going to have no idea why the heck I bought this thing. Obviously, yes, this is Optimus Prime. But this is from a Reclaimed Toys toy line called Battle Babies. The guy doing this, I want to say his name is Brett Butler, but I'm not sure that's right. Don't quote me on that, but he was at the Nerd City booth up in Chicago. One of the things that he does is he goes to thrift stores, garage sales. He finds toys that are missing pieces, broken, falling apart, whatever, and he buys them and he reclaims them. He makes them into something. It's still recognizable for what it was, but it becomes something different. And this is obviously a G1 Optimus Prime. It's got some gold paint kind of dry brushed along on it to give it a different feel. He has his own custom sticker that has that obey symbol, that Andre the Giant face symbol on there. You can see that he's got some baby doll hands that he stuck in the eyes, which you're probably thinking, well, it's not too bad except for those stupid things. But no, this actually is incredibly awesome. If we open the cab, you can see there are two little dudes here, just kind of happy, hanging out, doing their thing. Oh, my light died. My light here on the camera died. I don't have a bright light shining on them. Sorry about that. My light died. But you can see these two little guys inside the cab, and this totally creeps out my wife. She hates this thing, which may be part of the reason why I love it so much. But the baby doll hands are not just there to have hands. It's because this is a battle baby. Boom. He's got the baby head. I don't know why, but this makes me so incredibly happy. Every time I look at this toy, the head, the two little surprise guys on the inside, this to me is one of the most awesome things. And this, granted, G1 Optimus Prime, this is very loose, falling apart. He bought it, for like a quarter at a garage sale or something. This otherwise probably would have been thrown away. This would have gone into the great trash heap of old toys. So he reclaimed it. It was missing a head, so he put the baby doll head on it, went ahead and put some little baby hands on it, and the two little guys on the inside, and turned it into something that I'm just like, this is This, I love it. And I can't say anything more than that. I just love it. Alright, and then the last thing I'm going to pull out today is something we're going to focus on a little bit longer. Let me take your picture. Yeah, actually, this is Reflector. The G1 version of Reflector. And if I hold it just right, you can see that the viewfinder, in fact, is still intact and still working through there. It's a little dirty. I need to clean it a little bit, but otherwise it's there. Overall, it's in pretty good condition. Still clicks, which is something you don't always expect to find on these. It does have the flash bulb thing. Now, what he sold me with it, I got one missile. There should have been 3, so, you know, that's a little, you know, whatever. And I got one of the actual guns that goes with it. There should have been 2 other guns to go with it. For whatever reason, stuck in there is this gun. Someone says they think this came from a version of Jazz, perhaps. But the handle on it is similar, so I think that's why it's, you know, basic overall shape is somewhat similar, so the guy had it in the bag with it. It doesn't belong, but, you know, it'll work for now. So I do need to go online, find the other 2 guns that go with this. You know, perhaps someone watching this video right now, you've got them laying around because you bought a lot on eBay and you've got those 2 extra guns laying there, or one of them, let me know. I'd be more than happy to take that off your hands. But then as far as Reflector goes, Reflector was one of those Transformers. I didn't even realize for a long time that they even made this guy originally. He was a mail away in the United States. You had to get the points off the back of the package and cut out the little like Autobot symbol, I think it was. Mail it in with the shipping and handling, and you could get Reflector in the mail. And Reflector was the guy in the middle. They used a lot in the background shots when they needed just random robots laying there, some guys running around. The 2 guys on the side, they did appear occasionally, I believe, in some of the background shots, but the guy in the middle, you'd see like 3 or 4 of this guy just running around for whatever reason. But Reflector, being a camera, you've got the flashbulb missile launcher, you've got the lens cap. If I had all of the weapons, one of the guns actually has this kind of round piece on it, and you can take it and attach it to the gun in order to make like this giant, you know, cannon piece to it. So the guns themselves, when he's in robot mode, and the missiles, obviously don't have any place to attach or go, but they did think of at least a reuse for the lens when he is in robot mode. And then the key here, when you do transform him, is that he becomes 3 separate robots. So this is actually a combiner, believe it or not, in the simplest form. So you've got this red guy over here. They all have names, separate names. I don't know what they are. I'm not that big of a you know, nerd to figure out what they all are, but I'm sure I could look them up. You can go to, you know, TF Wiki or you know, one of those places and find it. But you've got this little red guy. He has the articulation here at the shoulders, and because of the way he transforms, the arms can kind of fold in, you know, if you wanted to on that. But the head doesn't really move. The legs do, because of the way he transforms, you can move those a little bit, so you do have some posing options when it comes to putting him together. He doesn't have any sort of symbol on him as far as when it comes to Autobots or Decepticons. I don't know if there was supposed to be and it fell off over the years, or if he just doesn't have it, but overall I think it's, you know, your basic robot look. I think it works. It's fine. And then we've got the blue guy on the other side who actually had the flash bulb on his head. And more or less the same thing that you see with red, you see with blue. He's got that articulation here up in the shoulders. The legs move here at the hip, but you can't move him at the knee backwards because of the way he transforms. It only moves forward, so it's a little funky as far as that goes. So not as much with posing options with him as you have with the other guy. I guess though we can go ahead and put the guns in. His missile launcher flashbulb thing fits right into his hand like that. And it does make him a little top heavy, so you have to kind of finesse him a little bit or put something under his feet to get him to stand right when he's got it. Otherwise, you can just kind of use it as a way to help kind of prop him up. I'll take the other gun here, put that in his hand, and that one actually works a little bit better because it's not as heavy, so it's not, you know, pulling on him quite as much, and you are able to pose him a little bit better. Then your guy in the middle, your main reflector here, you slide these arms out. You know, those are obviously your connectors from where you connected the other guys on the side, and then you flip the legs down. And then if I had that other gun, it would attach to his arm. I think maybe it actually attaches on the outside. And then you have the piece that sits on there like a giant cannon coming out of him. But otherwise, you know, this basic shape, this chest piece, if you've seen the cartoon, you've seen this, you know, robot with that chest piece, and it's usually drawn as a lens with the iris closed shutter, you know, the type that so it's got like the 20 different pieces that all kind of fold in order to cover up the hole. He's got that going on there. But as far as the robot himself, it moves at the shoulders, but otherwise doesn't move, you know, front or back or have any other motion. So you just kind of, you can bring up the gun, put down the gun, whatever he's doing. And his legs, because of the way he transforms, they do fold back, so that is normal. So at least, you know, if you wanted to show him like running or whatever, you could, whoa, look at that, he's really fast when he runs. So you got that going for him. When he transforms, he does have, you know, the lens finder piece does stick pretty far back, out of the back, and he can look a little funky up top with these extra pieces on here. But I think overall, again, the heads on all three of them are somewhat similar, except he looks more like he's got a battle mask, whereas these guys more just kind of have regular faces, but they have the same basic shape. They kind of repeated that shape going through you know, his helmet and on the head on there, which I think actually looks pretty nice. And we do have the thermal symbol here, and it did, you know, over the years this has slid off to the side. There's no good way for me to really, you know, move it back without maybe doing some damage to it, so I'm a little afraid of trying to move it. I'm just going to leave it where it is for now. Maybe at some point in the future I may get a good glue stick, peel it off, and kind of move it over, but it still works. I'm just not really hot right now. It's one of the things with these thermal stickers, you got to be thermed in order to make the thermal stickers work, and it's actually pretty cold outside today, so I'm not, don't have a whole lot of heat in me to get it going, but it does work. If I can get it, you know, heated up, if I sit there, rub it for a while, or whatever, the Decepticon logo does show up on there. So overall, even though I ended up with a gun that really has nothing to do with this figure, doesn't really fit. Can I stick it in here maybe? Not really. I ended up with this gun that there's really nothing I can do with, you know, whatever. I was at least happy that I got a missile and I actually got the lens cap. I saw some, oh look, there it's starting to show. Ooh. I forget what I was saying. I got the lens cap, which I've seen a bunch that didn't have that lens cap, didn't have any of the missiles, so I just need to track down those extra guns and I'll be good to go. But this is one of those guys, like I said, I didn't even know for a long time that they had made this guy. He was a mail-away exclusive, so being able to get my hands on it, for me, actually made me very happy. And then considering the overall condition that he's in, the viewfinder in him still works. It works pretty well. It's a little foggy. It needs to be cleaned somewhat, but you know, it does the job. It still works. Hey, look, there's that guy. And so I'm happy that I got my hands on it. It's a good toy, and overall, I think I got a pretty good haul from C2E2. I'm looking forward of doing reviews of a lot of this stuff for you guys. I know some of you are really excited to take a look at that Megatron. this Metroplex. We'll see. It's got some. I've transformed it a couple times, so it's got some nice parts to it. Not that big of a deal. And then my Battle Baby. I love my Battle Baby. He's so precious. I love him. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, you want to check out more reviews. If you want to check out some of the coverage from C2E2, we did some interviews with Dan Jurgens, Brian Azzarello, Charles Soule, Michael Allen Nelson, Franco and Baltazar from Aw Yeah Comics. We talked to JB Rowe, who was there at the Nerd City booth this year. We talked to Warpo Toys. So if you want to check out some of that stuff, make sure you stop by popculturenetwork.com. You can check that out. If you want to get a hold of me, you can find me on Twitter. It's at PCN_dirt. You can also call our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025. And don't forget, you can go to jointheforums.com, the official forums of the Pop Culture Network. And if you go out and you buy some swag like this, you want to show it off, our longest running thread, biggest thread, is under the toy section, pics of stuff you bought. And people just love showing off the toys that they've tracked down. So make sure you check that out. That's going to do it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.